actually been coming since my son was 6, and 2016 was our first year. I think at this point now it's honing in his skills, taking his skill set to the next level, allowing him to compete with his peers. But it also is the connections that we have made with camp. It's the people we've met. It's the fellow campers. It's the coaches. It's the folks here from DuQuoin. This is our home away from home, and we've kind of just built a family around this event. This is one of our family vacations for the year, and we just work our schedules around this weekend every single year. Crazy enough, I had just kind of found it on a resource page from another page and did a little bit of research about it. Dalton was 6 at the time. At that point, he was just playing flag football and he was playing baseball. And I thought, well, let's try to help. For one, I wanted him to connect with other kids like him, because where we're from, there's not too many kids that have a limb difference or anything exactly like him. And so it was more of making a connection for him to have peers to be around, and then also just to see what this sports camp could help him with. It's nothing like you'll find anywhere else. The energy is just completely different here. I will say that Dalton is I wouldn't say he's shy, but he's a little bit more reserved, small circles. He kind of like lets those people in that, he trusts, and he has a great group of friends. But here he just comes and he is a totally different kid. It's almost like the walls come down. He can be his complete self. He can focus on what he needs to do here, as opposed to sometimes when he's, at home, he's constantly like, he's so worried about making a mistake or being the best. And so here he's able to kind of like strip down the walls and just be himself and laugh and play. And so sometimes when I see him here and he's like giddy and fooling around, it's like I don't usually see that at home. So here he's just his complete self. I mean, I think when our first year, for me personally, it was the opening ceremony. The first year he was here, he was 6. And I personally was just completely overwhelmed. Like, I had tears rolling down my face because I had never been in an environment where I had parents that understood what I was going through or what I had been through or what my fears were about him growing up. But for him, I think, kind of going back to what I was saying, like, he's here and he just kind of is unguarded. I think it was probably his 2nd or 3rd year here, and I saw him. It was actually a sibling of a limb different camper that he just kind of connected with, and I saw him laughing and goofing off. And he's very like, he's my old soul, so he doesn't really usually allow himself to be goofy and funny. And I saw him goofing off and being funny with one of the siblings here, and I just was like, I'd never seen him do that before, kind of just be a kid, And so for me personally, I mean, to see him come out of his shell a little bit in that regard. But I think for him, it's this year, for example, he's starting to connect the dots. He's 13 years old. He's starting to actually take the things that the coaches are telling him and put it to use and put it to work. So before it was just like, going through the drills. Each coach or each session, each sport has these certain drills. The kids just do. It's just going through the motions. But now he's doing elite baseball, and he's finally able to actually put the things to use, what the coaches are trying to tell him. Certain ways to hit, certain ways to do your footwork to hit better. So for him, I think this year things are really starting to click just because of his age and how he's progressing as an athlete. I'm so glad. I know that I talked to a lot of other parents here, And that's what's great about this camp. The kids go do their thing, they're on the field, they're on the court, and then us parents get to sit and chat. And one of the things I've heard from many families is that, gosh, I wish we would have found this sooner. So I'm very thankful that we found NubAbility at an early age for Dalton, just because I know how it's seen him, or I've seen it through him, grow in confidence and then his ability. So if anybody is on the fence, I would say without a doubt, do it. It's good for the child. It's good for the family.